presenting Ivani Aviles and Rodrigo Astorga. Tonight on Channel 4.7 News, heroin, it's not as healthy as you might have originally thought. Biophysics, best major in the world or best major in the world. And our news team goes to St. Mary's University to ask students and faculty their thoughts on terrorism.
Thank you. Hello and good evening. Ivani, how are the wife and kids?
Dude, we have 3 classes together. You don't have a wife and kids.
Sorry, I was never really good with small talk.
No, but it's okay. So now we go live to San Antonio, Texas, where reporters Ivani Aviles and Rodrigo Astorga talk to students and faculty about their thoughts on terrorism. And now this topic has garnered a lot of attention recently due to the events in Paris and movies portraying it, such as American Sniper and The Hurt Locker. Rodrigo and Ivani, take it away.
Thanks, Rodrigo and Ivani. You guys are looking good. We're here at St. Mary's University to see what people thought about terrorism. Why St. Mary's, you ask? Well, it's only one of the 3 Mary's universities here in the United States. We wanted to see what their views are on terrorism and what we can learn from them. We're here at St. Mary's University, the Commons? The Commons. We're asking him questions on terrorism. So Leonel, do you think there is a morally correct way to respond to terrorists and their attacks? If so, how so?
Can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
Do you think there is a morally correct way to respond to terrorists and their attacks?
I think that the attacks could be evaded by pretty much just coming over a mutual kind of like negotiate. What's the situation? Like, how can we fix this? So I think there's a possibility.
Okay. So, having attended a Mary's institution, do you think the values that are taught, such as acceptance and mutual respect, affect the way you view terrorists?
Yeah, I think that the school has taught me pretty good principles, and those principles definitely can help defeat the war or the battle we have against terrorism, and like I said before, kind of accomplish a peaceful environment between whatever 2 groups might be involved in the terrorist act.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Directly or indirectly, and how so?
Well, terrorism has affected me directly, especially when I am traveling. In air travel, there's so many more security restrictions. There's a lot of security, so I have to, go through the whole song and dance. And it takes time, and I have to plan ahead to get to the airport early. There are also in situations if I go to like a sporting event or any sort of event that has lots of people involved, there's usually high security there. So it has affected me in those areas. Personally, it has not affected me as far as putting any sort of fear in my mind. That has not affected me. I do like to run races. I like to run marathons and half marathons. And ever since the Boston issue, I've noticed that security at those races is really tight, and so that changes things. So in my hobby, I guess it's changed things, but really it hasn't, in my opinion, in that way, it hasn't really affected me. So when I still go to the races, I don't hold back. I don't have any sort of fears that there's going to be a terrorist attack. So really it has only affected me in a small way, in certain situations.
Okay, so having worked in Mary's institution, do you think that the values that are taught, such as acceptance and mutual respect, affect the way you view terrorism?
I think it has a little bit in the fact that I don't want to rush to judgment on anyone, especially due to their nationality or ethnicity, and throw the terrorist or even have the thought of or the suspicion of somebody being a terrorist. That, I think, working at an institution that's very focused on serving everyone, and it doesn't matter, not turning back any nationality or ethnicity, it's definitely brought a culture of trying to put aside any sort of maybe prejudices or any sort of suspicions aside and accepting everyone. So I think it has affected me a little bit, but really I would say that I've always been very cautious in any sort of judgments towards somebody, even if I do have some sort of slight suspicion or apprehension. I usually can just put it aside and say, no, that's not true. So I would say a very small amount, but I've only been here for a short period of time, so maybe after some more years, maybe it'll even affect me more positively in that. So,
Terrorism?
that's all I have.
How has terrorism affected you personally, directly or indirectly, and how so?
Well, it hasn't affected me directly. That is, I've not been, nor has my family been, subject to any terrorist attacks. But indirectly, it's a matter of great concern, I think, to all of us. We all hope to live in a safe society, a secure society, and we are, but I worry and have great concern for men and women, children, both in the United States and other parts of the world, who are subject to senseless crimes.
Okay. So what do you think about other people who say that we Americans are the terrorists?
I would vigorously object to that. I think terrorism is, it's a term of art, I think, that relates to unsanctioned, violent attacks by groups and individuals that don't have the support of any real government, and they tend to target innocent victims. And I don't think, the United States has been in a lot of wars. There are rules of war, there's rules of engagement, there's international agreements that the United States has been part of for many decades.
Right. Okay, last question. Having worked in a Marinist institution, do you think that the values that are taught, such as acceptance and mutual respect, affect the way you view terrorism?
Yes, I think it does. I think as Christians and as members of a community that holds certain values, family spirit, community as important, I think terrorism has the potential of breaking apart those parts of our society that are so important. I also, I think our Christian Marianist character should lead us to, sympathetic's not the right word, but to be sensitive. There are a lot of motivations and a lot of causes of terrorism. Some of them are poverty, some of them are manipulation, some of them are abuse. We know that there are young boys, young men who are involved in terrorist attacks, and so I don't think it's appropriate as Christians, as Marian and members of the Marianist community, to demonize people who engage in terrorism, because because so many of them are trying to find their way, and they've taken a bad path, but they're human beings like us and deserve the dignity and respect that we accord to everyone.
There you have it, folks. Friends' words from San Antonio, Texas. Back to you, Rodrigo and Ivani.
Thank you, Rodrigo and Ivani, for that great coverage. Great stuff. Great stuff. Well, that segment took up all the time we have. Thanks for listening, and good night.